Let us understand how do we solve word problems involving fractions with Anil Kumar. I am Anil Kumar. Welcome to my YouTube channel and the website Global Math Institute. In this video, we'll discuss a word problem and we'll take few more in our playlist. Solving word problems, especially while dealing with fractions, could be a challenge for some students. I hope with few examples in this playlist, you may get some idea of how do we solve such questions. So let's look into the very first word problem here, which is based on fractions. As you can see in the very first statement, it says 3/5 of grade 8 class are in the band. And you can now further read. Try to understand, write down your equation and try to solve it. Well, some of you who want to learn directly from me, you can send an email on globalmathinstitute@gmail.com. We can be part of your success. Now, I'll emphasize that when you read the question, read it slowly and write down what all information is provided and what is needed. Right, so let's begin with the first statement, which is 3/5 of grade 8 class are in the band, right? So 3/5 of grade 8, we don't know how many students in grade 8, right? So we'll define the variable as let there be n students in grade 8. Okay. Now it says 3/5 of grade 8 class are in a band. So 3/5 means 3 out of 5 of n. So you can write times n or simply n, right? So 3/5 of n, I am writing with this dot, which really means multiplication. 3/5 of grade 8 class, in which we have n students, are in a band. Now, is on Tuesday, only 1/3 of these students went to the band practice. What fraction of the class went to band practice on Tuesday? So if I look at A, it says on Tuesday only 1/3. So 1/3 of what? 3/5 n, right? Because they were in the band 3/5. So those many went for practice. Right? Clear, right? So what fraction it is? You can simplify this, right? 1/3 of 3/5 n. So 3 and 3 will cancel, right? What are you getting here? This is equal to n over 5. So 1/5 of n. You get the idea. So that is how simple it is if you systematically work on it. So what fraction of the class went to the band practice on Tuesday? So we want what fraction of the class, right? N is the number of students. So 1/5 of the class. Because n is number of students in the class. Makes sense? So 1/5 of n. Makes sense, right? Perfect. Now let's look into the next part, which is part B. How many students might be in the class if the students are greater than 30 but less than 40? So you see very clearly what we are landing up is a fraction by 5, right? 3/5. And then ultimately that 3 and 3 cancelled. So it means that the number of students are multiples of 5, right? Because we cannot have fraction, right? 1/5 of n, right? So part B means multiple of 5. It is given if the students are greater than 30 but less than 40. It means there were how many students? Yes, you're right. 35 students. For sure, right? That is the only number which is in between 30 and 40 and is also multiple of 5. So when you divide 35 by 5, you get 7. You get the idea? So we've answered part B. Part C is justify your answer of part B. So how do you say 35 is the right answer? So let's try to justify it now, right? So justification is simple, and that is we can always write 35. What is 3/5 of 35? We can write that, right? So if I write 3/5 of 35, I know that 21 students. So 21 in band, correct? And how many went for practice on Tuesday? 1/5 of 35, which means 7 went on Tuesday. Makes sense. So we can justify our answer also with this number 35. Perfect. So that is what I will recommend. So when you read this type of a question, let's look into this question once again. So keywords here is 3/5 of. Of means multiplication, right? So 3/5 of n number of students means 3 by 5 times, right? N. Is it okay? And then here it is 1/3 of these, right? So means 1/3 of these means 3/5 times n. So that is equal to 1/3 times 3 5 n. 3 3 cancel 1/5 of n. Does it make sense to you, right? And that clearly means 1/5 of n cannot be a decimal number, right? So that therefore n is a multiple of 5. Is that absolutely clear? So once you've done the question, also think, go back and then see, is it what was expected? A great question to answer. Perfect. So while understanding how do we solve word problems, I think these are important issues. Keeping these things in mind, I'll take two more questions, add one by one in this same playlist, and I'll recommend you go through all the three questions to understand steps involved while solving word problems based on fractions. Right? I hope that helps. Also, feel free to support our channel. You could contribute by sending payment with globalmathinstitute@gmail.com. Only those who want to and who can, right? Any denomination is helpful. Every dollar counts since we want to reach millions worldwide. Thanks for your time and all the best.